sports show is underway. Mike Max away in Chicago. Eric Nelson in Chicago, so they went way down the depth chart to find me as Steve Thompson. Royce, Lavelli, Neil III, Sid Hartman are here.
Bear
Sid,
down, Chicago Bears.
Sid wants no part of this. Sid, Vikes and Bears today. Big game in Chicago, and ultimately the Vikes offense struggled.
Well, you can say the offense struggled. The offense never got on the field. That was the biggest trouble. This is like old times when the offense never got a chance. The Bears had about 80% possession time, so the Bears lost to two of the best teams in the league. They got killed. The Vikings are probably about equal with them. Bridgewater, he's got a ways to go, and they just didn't play well. They got ahead 10-0, and then the Bears came back, and I don't know why they threw that long pass at the end. They were marching right down the field with a chance to tie the game, but I guess that was open, so that's what they did.
There wasn't that much time left, though. It was hard to tell with the clock at Soldier Field wasn't working.
It was less than a minute.
But, Sid, one problem with complaining about the offense not being on the field is when they got on the field, they ran 3 plays and punted. They were one for whatever that was on 3rd down. They never got any first down. So
yeah.
I thought Christian Ponder wore number 7.
This was a big game, though, Lavelle, for your Bears. I mean, they were going to get booed out of the building early. So it was a huge comeback for Cutler and Trestman and the Bears.
But you know what, though? 24 first downs to 10. 10 of 17 on 3rd down. I think the Vikings converted with 2 of 10 or something like that. The Bears had a 200-yard edge in total offense. And still, the Vikings had the ball in the 4th quarter with a chance to tie if they get a 2-point conversion. This was not a great effort by the Bears. They were able to take advantage because they played basketball. Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey posted up the defensive backs, caught passes, and dominated.
When it was 14-10, Sid, the way that game was going, though, reminded me, I was saying this is a Bud Grant game where you get outplayed all day long and figure out a way to win at the end, but it didn't happen.
They can't win in Chicago. This is 8-1 in Chicago. 1-8 they've won in Chicago.
But it's been a struggle for the Vikes on the road on grass for years, wherever.
Yep.
Actually, most teams have trouble winning in Soldiers Field. They got a pretty good record at Soldiers Field. But
first win this year at home, though.
Yeah, well, they haven't played many games at home. They've been on the road more than they've been at home.
We lost to Buffalo at home, lost to Miami at home, I believe, and lost to Rodgers.
Sid, the joke was that the last Chicago team to win at Soldier Field was the Blackhawks.
That's right.
There in January. So,
Mark Trestman, your guy. He's on the hot seat down there. I don't think this win takes him off the hot seat at all.
Not on the hot seat. He has a great relationship with the McCaskies, and he lost to 2 great teams. Green Bay, this may be one of the best Green Bay teams they've ever had. Look what they did to the Eagles today, and the Eagles got one of the best defenses in the league. And New England right now is doing the same thing to everybody. So what happened to them has happened to everybody that play those 2 teams.
True, but giving up 50 points to a division opponent named Green Bay can get you in trouble with your owners. I think there was a lot of embarrassment going on after that game last week. And Trestman had a couple of shaky decisions today. Running Cutler around the end after he spreads the field on 4th down and goal. And then the clock management during the end of the 2nd period, I think he did a couple of things that he could be criticized for.
Let me say this. If you've read the local newspapers today, this week, leading up to this game, you'll learn 2 things. Josh Robinson has really bounced back from his lousy season last year, and Matt Khalil has gotten his act together.
Yeah.
Maybe we want to rewrite. Give me a rewrite.
Josh Robinson was a conduit to the end zone for Bears offensive players.
He was terrible.
And Khalil allowed Jared Allen to look like he was effective again.
But isn't
Khalil, Allen has the best game of the year today.
Yep.
Without a doubt, Bridgewater didn't have much protection today.
That's a tall order for a young quarterback. This is what you get. I don't know what the expectations
Can't throw long, no. His ball flutters. His ball doesn't get there. He throws it out. He throws long. It goes. I think he needs a new glove. I think we ought to send him to the Nike Glove Center.
I agree with Ricey. Why they don't have him scrambling more? He's pretty quick and pretty fast, and he never scrambles. I mean, he just goes back there and stays in the pocket and holds the ball too long. But I suppose they're stuck with him right now and hope he gets better.
This is what a developing quarterback looks like. You know what? They have no choice. They have to keep him out there and have him try to learn how to throw the deep ball because it's killing him. He was checked on Charlie all day today. Yep. But he's got to take shots down the field. He's got to learn to see. They got to see if he can learn and throw the ball down the field.
All right, we've got to run to a break. We'll be back. Sports Show continues in a moment.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
When you set out to find new roads, you obsess over perfection, elevate form, and reinvent a category. You also attract a lot of attention. Chevrolet, the most awarded car company of the year. Not Ford, Honda, or Toyota. Get great offers all month long at the Chevy Black Friday sale. Get 0% financing plus $1,000 and no monthly payments until next year on these models and more.
Visit ChevyDealOnline.com. If it's cold enough for hockey, it's time for the new Blizzak WS80. Conquer the cold with Bridgestone Blizzak winter tires. And if you guess the temp at the 2015 Bridgestone NHL Winter Classic, you can win your tires. Visit ConquerTheCold.com for details.
Ram has the best towing, 30,000 pounds. Best torque, 865 pound-feet. Best payload, 7,390 pounds. As well as the best fuel economy, 28 mpg highway. 6 mpg better than Ford EcoBoost. Hurry in to the Ram Big Finish event. Well-qualified current pickup truck owners get a low-mileage lease on Ram 1500 Express Quad Cab 4x4 for $279 a month.
See why more people are coming to Audi than ever before at Audi Minneapolis. Experience the legendary performance and handling of an A4 2.0 T Quattro. Lease yours for only $379 a month. Plus, Audi Minneapolis will make your first month's payment. Or try out the luxury and power of an A6. Lease for just $499 a month. The Summer of Audi event at Audi Minneapolis on 394 at General Mills Boulevard and at AudiMinneapolis.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983
And Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
Stop into J.D. Hoyt's, have a steak before a Wolves game or a concert downtown.
I was in there the other night with the Ohio State Buckeye Riders. We were eating big chops and everything. They're already reserving the back room for Big John Thompson when the Final Four comes here in 2019.
There you go.
Big John and his buddies hold court back there and eat pork chops every game when there's a big basketball tournament here.
Vikes could use Adrian Peterson. Sid, will the NFL reinstate Adrian Peterson?
Well, something's going on. The union, like Patrick knows no more about that than I do, but apparently the union told him not to go to the hearing, and Mr. Peterson issued a statement. I don't know if he's going to be there Monday or not. The Vikings want him in a worse way for two reasons. They want him to help them now, and then they want to know how good he is so they can decide how much to pay him after this year. They're certainly not going to pay him what they're paying him now. But I think the big thing going on behind the scenes is some of the owners are not happy with the Wolves for paying them all these years, all these weeks, and the league wants to take some money away from them, and the union don't want that to happen.
Adrian's got a pretty good attorney.
Rusty, you know dang well, the union told him not to go, but Rusty told him not to go, too. I have no idea what's going on. I read Adrian's statement today, and I'm not sure he wrote it himself.
He definitely didn't write it himself. We know that.
It seemed a little sophisticated, but it doesn't look like. I would have bet a week ago that he'd be playing against the Packers, but there's no chance now. I don't know.
It seems like there's just posturing going on, you know, because Adrian didn't make himself available for the meeting on Friday. And the league probably wants to take some money from him. It sounds like there's going to have to be some size deal struck where maybe he gives up a little bit of money and he can get back on the field. If not, the NFL could delay this and ruin the rest of the season.
But this is a battle, Sid, really between Goodell wanting to maintain unilateral power to enforce discipline and the union wanting to come up with a three-man panel or of arbitrators or something to do that. This is a part of that.
True. I think the union wants to win this battle, and this could set a precedent for future stuff like this, and the league don't want to do it. And I think that the commissioner's in a tough spot because they've had a lot of problems on how they've handled different things different ways.
Do you think he's going to be around next year either way?
I ought to hire Jimbo Fisher as the commissioner. Jimbo know how to handle discipline. Hit and run. Who cares? Play ball.
How about that one?
The Florida State thing is unbelievable.
Now, that got delayed till after the regular season, so now we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but
they're going to announce that Jameis Winston did something wrong, and he said, screw it, I'm going to go to the NFL. And now he can stay on the field the rest of the season.
Yeah, but they also had the hit and run with the two cornerbacks, which the cops who didn't even have jurisdiction showed up and said, we'll take care of this, boys, and they covered it up for 2 months.
That's probably been going on down there for years.
Somebody, I love Twitter for this. Somebody sent out a picture of, you know, the chief that rides the horse at Florida State games and all this regalia. They sent it out and said, Tallahassee police chief.
All right, Sid, Adrian, do you believe he's going to take a big pay cut and come back next year?
Oh, they won't pay him what they're paying him now. They can't pay him. I mean, their salary cap situation, they got a lot of young players who are going to get raises for next year. But I can't see, he might be working out every day, but I can't see if, say, he gets the okay Monday, I can't see how he could play right away. I mean, as far as the offense goes and all that stuff, maybe he can.
Looked a little chubby in the face in his court hearings too. He didn't look like the old rock of a human being that he was previously. I don't know.
You're probably right. He's probably put on about 25 pounds since this thing started.
You know what you do when you get nervous? You eat.
That's right. You know, he would need a couple weeks, I would imagine, to just go through some practices. And he has to get up to practice speed, not just game speed.
All right. We're going to take a break right now. We'll
he probably figured, hey, once he missed the Bears,
Show continues in a moment.
Once you miss the Bears, what's the hurt?
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Allery's, the original St. Paul sports bar, now with 65 beers on tap.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
In a world full of compromise, the Audi A3 takes a different path. Get uncompromised design, the style and presence of Audi in a lighter, smaller form. Uncompromised performance, a lightning-quick turbocharged engine, and race-bred S-tronic transmission. Uncompromised luxury with standard leather seating and panoramic sunroof. Lease your A3 for only $299 a month. Plus, during the Summer of Audi event, Audi Minneapolis will make your first payment. Stay uncompromised. Audi Minneapolis.
Great time of year to be in an Audi. Visit Audi in Minneapolis, your Twin Cities AudiDealers.com. Big game Saturday, Ohio State, Minnesota. Gophers gave them a ball game, but in the end came up short, Sid.
Well, Ricey says that if it wasn't for the fumble in a couple of places, I think the Gophers, he don't throw 2 interceptions in the second half. He makes they screwed up a couple other things. The coach, they got 1 touchdown, just gave him. I think they could have won that game. I talked a little bit to the Ohio State coach after the game, and he thought they were very fortunate to win the game.
Yeah, they had almost 500 yards, though. So, you know, they had 500 yards to 300 yards, so that's a pretty good indicator. The quarterback is too much better, and, you know, the Gophers hung in there, and they got close. But, Sid, if the guy doesn't drop the punt on the 10-yard line, you're not in the game.
That was a huge play in the game.
Second half was 170 yards for the Gophers, 135
Yeah, but a lot of that
State.
was after you're behind and they're letting you go down the field. They're playing prevent defense.
I'm just saying they do a very great job of doing some changes at halftime.
Well, they're good at halftime. Tracy Clays is fantastic at halftime, but, you know, the best team won. Would you agree to that?
No doubt about it.
Yeah, the best team.
Okay. They got Indiana and Michigan left. They'll kill them both.
Where does Michigan? Do they gotta go? Does Michigan have to go to Columbus?
I think so.
If it is, that could be a little 60-7 going away present for Brady
but
Hoke.
Ohio State,
Yes, that's right.
Ohio State has depth and blue chippers 2-3 deep on this traveling squad. I mean, this Barrett kid was unbelievable.
And Urban can coach, because Barrett was terrible when he first stepped in for Braxton Miller. He looked like he was in over his head, and he has slowly gotten better as the season's gone along. And now he looks like he's definitely a dual threat quarterback now. He can throw a little bit, and he can run down the field if he needs to.
Here's the difference between, you know, we talk about recruiting stars, and it doesn't make any difference, and you got a guy like Eric Murray who's basically a no-star who can play, but the difference between 4 stars and 2 stars is when the 6'4", 225-pound quarterback gets into your secondary and you don't have anybody who can catch him.
He's from Texas, you know.
I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that he ran away from our cornerbacks, and a big old quarterback shouldn't be able to run away from your
that's right.
from your defensive backs.
Exactly
And
right.
that's the difference.
Mitch Leidner had a tough day, Sid. I mean, he struggled a little bit after looking pretty good against Iowa.
Who, Leidner?
Leidner.
Yeah, he did struggle. He's got to improve his passing. They got 4 pretty good receivers on the red shirts that'll help them for next year. But Wisconsin, how about that? That guy making 400 yards.
Yep.
And they beat Nebraska about 2 years ago, 70-14 in a championship game. And then they gave him a good licking again this time. I think the Gophers got an outside chance at Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, run of David Cobb run.
So.
Last 2 times Nebraska has played Wisconsin, Wisconsin has rushed for 1,100 yards. 1,100 yards.
I got a question about Saturday. Max Williams was lined up at wide receiver for a bunch of plays. Was that because of injuries, or were they trying to throw a wrinkle at Ohio
They do
State?
that once in a while.
It seemed like he did it a lot on Saturday. Was that because...
Their best running back he's playing for the first time he played, but he only got 62 yards against Wisconsin. And then their quarterback is not the greatest passer in the world. So they might go in there and they might have a chance. I think they got a better chance of beating Nebraska than Wisconsin.
Well, after 60 to 14 or whatever it was, I think I agree with you.
All right, Patino versus Patino in Puerto Rico. Tough night for the Golden Gophers
Are they related,
against Louisville.
by the way?
Yeah, I think that was the storyline.
I'm so sick of reading about their humorous exchanges.
Year in, year out. The Gophers aren't going to compete with Louisville, I'll tell you that. You have to worry about that.
Well, it looks like Louisville could be a title contender. They're pretty good.
It's tough to have matchups like that early in the year because you can see the teams weren't running their offenses clear. Louisville made a lot of mistakes there early. The Gophers had issues early. It's kind of sloppy and ugly early, and then Louisville got on track and kind of blew them out in the second half. But the Gophers, I think, will be halfway decent in the Big Ten this year. I'm not saying that they hung with Louisville, but there were stretches there where they looked like they could stand toe-to-toe with them.
The next recruiting class will help them be a lot better. This recruiting class is early. But they got a Kippen and Dorsey everybody wanted. They got a couple guys everybody wanted. They got a kid that's ineligible right now that'll help them a great deal. NC Clearinghouse cleared him, and the admissions turned him down because of his speech problem.
All right.
How many years does Patino stay here?
Huh?
How many years does Richard Patino stay here?
Probably until Daddy leaves Louisville.
You think that'd be the next stop for him, just to be the replacement?
His dad quits, he'll be the coach there.
Well, Sid,
they got an athletic director at Louisville who was a kicker for Joe Salem and a kicker for the Vikings, who has done one of the greatest jobs building a program of anybody in the country.
Well, Sid, you said it's a challenge for Patino to get kids into school, that it's going to be difficult for Patino to compete at the highest level at Minnesota.
Well, I think he'll do pretty good, but I think they'll have a hard time keeping him. I think that he can get a better job than this one. I don't think this is the best job in the world.
The local basketball scene is pretty good. How's he doing recruiting-wise locally? I know he's
got the kid from De La Salle, who's the best player in the state. But the good, we already built him a new practice facility, Sid. What's he complaining about? Patino. Why wouldn't we keep? We gave him the new facility there.
Yeah.
We put the curtains on the wall, and we did all that good stuff.
He's going to a new barn. He's going to a new barn.
They spent a couple $100,000 replacing that gym.
Unfortunately, we spent $8 million on the roof at Williams Arena to keep it from leaking. $8 million.
We've got to run to a break. The sports show continues in a moment.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law, for all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. And Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, Christian Ponder, the Wild, Zach Parise, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. Twins. Yep, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts, too. Justin Bieber! Hey, I like him first. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
There it is, Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Mike Max certainly wants you to talk to the folks at Beacon Bank. Time's tight here at the end of the program. Sid, what do you got?
Two baseball experts here. Tell me, predict what free agents the Twins might sign.
Justin Masterson.
Justin Masterson, the pitcher, who was in Cleveland.
He had some injury issues, got traded to the Cardinals, I believe, right? One of those low-risk, possible, decent reward type guys. Maybe Brett Anderson, left-hander who was with Colorado last year.
How about Torrey Hunter?
Can't stay home.
Any chance they'd resign Torrey Hunter?
I don't see it. I think Torrey still wants to win. Now, I've heard through the grapevine that Torrey has talked about ending his career with the Twins. But I think the way things ended for him last year in Detroit, he's still going to look for a team that has a chance to make the playoffs this upcoming season. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in a place like Kansas City.
He'd be a nice addition here. He could play against lefties. You could have Rosario play left, Arcia play right, and Hunter play 100 games against lefties and against other guys.
All right, guys, the Wolves. Brutal road trip.
Oh, God.
1-5, lose Rubio, Thad Young, mother dies. Terrible thing there. And Pekovic is injured again.
Now he's got the bad ankle, right?
Here's my thing about the Wolves.
What's wrong with him?
Here's my thing about the Wolves.
Yeah.
Everybody thought with Wiggins and some other people here that they're going to be a better defensive team. When has Flip Saunders ever been a defensive coach? He wants to score 110 points a game. The defense is going to be
Wiggins is
going
to be fine, though. Wiggins is going to be a hell of a player. Wiggins is going to be fine.
He can play.
If the NBA has no conscience sending these poor SOBs on this road trip, sending them to Mexico City, and then making them stop in New Orleans and Dallas for 2 games before they come home. Of course, I blame the Timberwolves because they let them rent the arena for 2 weeks for Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks, yeah.
The schedule was certainly not favorable.
I'd hate to be coaching a young team through this road trip. Good luck. But
Wild pull one onto the fire. They come back and win it in overtime. They had a 3-goal lead going to the third. Jets score 3 in a row.
I'll have to take your word for it.
I watched
they won it 4-3 in overtime.
I watched the first 2 periods. I saw the 3-goal lead. I saw the fights in the second period. And I said, okay, it's over. And I found out they had to go into overtime.
Check with me in April for my Wild observations.
Good news is
regular season hockey.
Parisi played today.
Parisi was back. Parisi is back, and they dropped 4 in a row, and he got hurt. Now they've won 3 in a row. So they're on the up and up.
He's pretty important.
We're going to make the playoffs. That's all that counts.
All right, it's going to warm up for Prep Bowl at the U Friday and Saturday. How about De La Salle beating Hutchinson?
They're
How
good.
about that?
They're good. I saw them for 3 quarters Saturday. They're good. They're better than Hutchinson. I was surprised.
Big school, Eden Prairie, and Totino Grace. We got to run. That's the
De La
sports show.
Salle
Thanks.
has some great athletes.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Sound Point Audiology. Life is worth hearing.